Good evening, viewers. Welcome to Thursday's edition of the Regional News. We start with news from Brazil. The head of Brazil's electoral court, Alexander de Moraes, on Wednesday rejected a complaint from President Jair Bolsonaro's allies to challenge the presidential election, which the incumbent lost by a small margin, according to a court document. Leftist ex-president Luiz Lula da Silva narrowly defeated Bolsonaro in the October 30th runoff election, marking a stunning comeback from the leftist former president and the end of Brazil's most right-wing government in decades. Lula's margin of victory was by less than 2 percentage points. Moraes, who served as a Supreme Court justice, also fined the parties in Bolsonaro's coalition to the tune of $22.9 million for what the court described as bad faith litigation, the document showed. On Tuesday, Bolsonaro's Liberal Party, PL, filed a complaint to challenge the outcome of the election, claiming some of the electronic voting machines were flawed and those votes should be invalidated, an argument that election authorities met with skepticism. Under the terms of Wednesday's electoral court decision, political funds for the president's coalition parties were ordered blocked until the fine is paid. The ruling also ordered an investigation into any misuse of the party structure and funds by PL head Vladimir D. Costa Neto. In the ruling, Moraes described the challenge as offensive to democratic norms, adding that it sought to encourage criminal and anti-democratic movements. The ballot boxes generate files that marked it possible to identify precisely which equipment they were generated on. When one of these mechanisms stops working, others replace it without affecting its traceability and the possibility of identifying ballot boxes, according to the decision. Election experts and political analysts blasted the election challenge by Bolsonaro's allies as weak of merit, though it could still fire up supporters who have been protesting its defeat at the polls. We now turn our attention to news coming out of Jamaica. 22 illegal firearms were seized by the security forces and several arrests, including that of a 15-year-old, were made during the 2-week gun amnesty that ended on November 19th. This was disclosed on Tuesday by Prime Minister Andrew Holness as the House of Representatives debated and passed a motion to have the states of emergency passed for several parishes on November 15, extended until January 14 next year. The motion will be debated in the Senate on Friday. It is unfortunate that a 15-year-old was among those who were caught in possession of an illegal firearm. These are some of the harsh consequences that a society has to face. We have to address it, Holness remarked. He lamented that young males in particular have been sucked into gun culture. I'm sorry for that 15-year-old, and I wish he didn't have to face the fate mandatory 15-year sentence. But we have to put our feet down firmly. Let that 15-year-old be an example for the thousands of 15-year-old young men who are contemplating of getting an illegal gun, using an illegal gun, and locking an illegal gun, said Holness. Meanwhile, Holness said a total of 101 guns and 3,000 rounds of ammunition were turned in under the 2-week gun amnesty that ended on November 19th. He said the figures were provided by the Jamaican Constabulary Force and the Firearm Licensing Authority. I said it in another place, Jamaica Labour Party annual conference, and I'll say it again. The amnesty has surpassed my expectation, but there are still many more thousands more illegal guns in our country, not to mention illegal ammunition, the Prime Minister said. He noted that a number of the firearms that were turned in were from individuals who had not licensed the weapons in several years or who may have inherited the weapons and didn't bother to regularize it. The amnesty was necessary to give those persons an opportunity to dispose of these weapons without having a fear of the consequences of the new penalties under the new Firearm Act, Holness said. And finally, we close with news coming out of Barbados. Attorney Ernest Winston Jackman has been sentenced to 7 years for stealing his client's money and money laundering. However, with the 214 days on remand deducted, He will only serve 6 years and 151 days at Dodds Prison. Jackman of Whitshire Plantation House in Phillip had denied stealing $678,414 belonging to H.E. Jail Limited between June 23, 2006 and March 5, 2007. When the matter was called before Justice Pamela Beckles in the No. 5 Supreme Court, attorney for the complainant John Huggins said no part of the outstanding money had been repaid as indicated by Jackman on the last occasion, who has already repaid half of the amount of money. Attorney Sally Commissioning appeared on behalf of Jackman, while Principal State Counsel Crystal Dinley appeared for the state. Thank you for watching. I'm TIANA Cole.